everybody. It's never a bad hair day, except maybe today. No, I'm just kidding. This is my old Jameson, and I have her just pinned back because I've been working on my Bible study and stuff like that this morning, and I just didn't want to have hair like falling down on my face. That's a wig thing, isn't it? Sometimes the hair's in our face, but usually I love the hair on my face. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here because I was really inspired by Wiggin' with Christy, and I really appreciate her honesty and her boldness, and she has really been an inspiration to me, and so have so many of the other YouTubers, Heather at Sister Wigs and Kathleen and Let's Talk with Kim, and I don't want to try to name everybody, Blonde Wig Reviews, and Taz's Wig Closet, and just so many of you. You all are awesome, and I appreciate all of you. And so I don't know that I would do wig reviews. I might if I see one that hasn't been reviewed a lot, but I think that really all of you guys are just covering it so well that I perhaps should not. But what I wanted to talk about is one of the major reasons why I lost my hair, and that is because of a treatment called Squaric acid. I have had alopecia for since 2003, and it started off as just your little bald spots back here, and slowly started to creep up around to here, and was starting to affect, of course, the line up here, and just like everybody else's story. And so last summer I went to a new dermatologist, and she was just gung-ho about this new treatment, and I was actually very hesitant about it, but I listened to her and I trusted her, and so I went to her, and she did this treatment that's called Squaric acid. And what Squaric acid does is it's actually the component that's in poison ivy, which is an allergen called urushiol, I think is how you say it. And so this urushiol is what causes the allergic reaction. And so I went, and I thought I was just going to talk to her for one thing. I should take off these dumb glasses. I don't have any makeup on or anything. I just decided to just put this out there. So anyway, so I told her on the first appointment, I was like, well, I'm anxious in hearing about a new treatment, but I don't necessarily know that this is a good treatment for me. And the reason I thought that is because I have a ton of allergies. Like, I'm allergic to my allergy list. I've been having a few doctor's visits lately, and every time they go over my allergies, I'm like, oh, so sorry. Yes, pistachios, cashews, bananas, papaya, Tamiflu. What else? Macrobid antibiotic, hydrochlorothiazide, iodine. So yeah, the list goes on and on. I don't eat gluten. I don't eat dairy. Just I'm a fun person, as you can tell. No, I'm just kidding. I really am, but I just can't eat anything. But anyway, so I knew I had a ton of allergies, and so I told her that I had all these allergies, and asked specifically, am I a good candidate for this? Because I'm super allergic, and this could make my immune system go haywire. Oh, no, she said, you're a great candidate. It's going to be great. I'm going to grow hair. It's going to be awesome. So I was like, okay, you're the doctor. I'm the patient. I shall trust you. So anyway, went ahead with the treatment. She said, oh, no, the allergic reaction that we caused. Anyway, I digress a little bit. I went on a bunny trail. So what they want to do is they want to cause a little allergic reaction on your scalp that distracts your T cells from going after your hair follicles. And instead they go after the allergic reaction on the scalp, which is just supposed to be super minor, maybe a little pink under the hair, nobody can tell. That's what they said. Anyway, and then the hair grows back because those T cells aren't attacking the hair follicles anymore. So I was like, sounds good. If you think it's a good thing, we'll try it. So that's what we did. So we go in and we try it, and She was like, a lot of times it takes people 3 or 4 months before they even have their first reaction. Guess what? I go home, my head lights up like Rudolph the Red-Nosed, right? I can't talk. Rudolph the Red-Nosed reindeer's nose. My head is red and it is itching and it's hurting. I'm not kidding. It was awful. And so they gave me this steroid foam to put on. I'm like, I'm sitting there with that foam. Like, give me a break. There's not enough foam in the world for this head. This head's on fire. This girl is on fire. That's how I felt. So, so I go back for the next appointment and I'm like, okay, well, so that was awful, doc. What are we going to do? And she said, well, that's good. And she looks with her little microscope thing and she's like, oh, you're growing hair. So I'm excited. Yay, I'm growing hair. I haven't heard that in a long time because I'm usually losing hair. Oh, you're going bald. No, you're growing hair. Hair's filling in. And I could see it with my eye too. So, so I proceeded with the next treatment. But she said, this time I'm going to give you a Medrol pack, a little steroid pack. And if your head lights up, just don't even hesitate to pull the trigger. She said, just take that medicine. So she's like, get it filled on your way home and just take it. So that was what I did. Got it filled, got home, it started getting itchy. We were going on vacation like 3 or 4 days later, going to New York for a week. And I was like, nope, I'm not having this. So I took the steroid and it calmed right down. It wasn't as awful that time. But I was thinking in the back of my head, I don't know that it's a great idea that I'm popping steroids all the time, every time I have this reaction, because I'm going back like every 3 to 4 weeks for a new treatment. So I went back in again, and again, I was growing more hair, and this time I could see the filling in. Had another treatment. I didn't react as badly, so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is better. So since I didn't react as badly to that one, the next time I went, she said, then that's good. This should be your maintenance dose then, because you didn't have the crazy flare, blah, blah, blah. So they call in a new vial of this stuff, because this squaric acid stuff, you have to go to a compounding pharmacy and get it filled and bring it to the doctor with you. And so I got it refilled again, took it in. So this was August of 2017. And when they put it on my head this time, my head exploded. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like over here on this whole side of my face, they put it on the scalp, mind you, but the swelling in my face was all the way to here. My eye was almost swollen shut. I had this huge lump on my head. My face was all red. My face got itchy. It was awful. I mean, I'm not kidding. It was terrible. So I decided at that point, I'm done. I'm done. Because I had to go on another steroid pack, of course, because my allergies, I had this huge flare. There wasn't anything I could do about it. And so I had to go on another steroid pack, had to put topical steroid on, and I just was like, I'm done. I didn't have a good feeling about the fact that they were manipulating my immune system in the first place. So I thought, okay, I got over that reaction, decided to quit the treatment, thought I was going to be good. Went back in September and she decided to do those awful, steroid shots in your head that hurt so bad, to go back to that treatment because I had shown some ability to grow hair, and she thought, well, maybe we'll do this because that treats inflammation at the surface as opposed to distracting the T cells. So that kind of pushes the T cells back, whereas the squaric acid distracts them and they attack something else. So did the steroid shots, and then a week after the steroid shots, all my hair started falling out. All of it. All of it. I was losing handfuls of hair. It was in the shower. It was on the floor. It was all over the vanity. When I would vacuum my house, the canister was full, like the little screeny thing in the middle. I'm tearing my hair out of it, and it's just completely and totally heartbreaking. Like, it was awful. And I was just like, this is it. I'm going to go bald. Well, at the same time as this, I ended up having a full body systemic reaction to the squaric acid. I broke out, thank goodness, from the neck down. It wasn't on my face, but with the itchiest rash, which basically was poison ivy. I had a poison ivy flare and I had never even touched a plant. It was because they put the stuff on my head. So apparently what happens sometimes with poison ivy is it goes kind of dormant. Those Medrol packs push it back, but they don't get rid of it. And then it flares up. And I still to this day will have little patches of flares of the rash. So it was last November, I think like the 2nd or the 4th, something like, no, I think it was the 2nd, that I went, my mom and I went, and I was like, I'm done, I have to get a wig. I'm losing all my hair, I don't have a choice. So went and got a wig, and that was Carly by John Renault. And it was awkward, and it was weird, and it was scary, and I put it on my head, and it felt like a foreign object. And I started walking around like that, and I was like, everybody knows. That person knows. That person knows. That person knows. Everybody knows I'm wearing a wig. Everybody can tell. And the next thing I knew, people were like, man, your hair looks fantastic. Who cuts your hair? What products do you use? And I'm like, they don't know. They don't know I'm wearing a wig. And so the more times that happened, the people didn't know I was wearing a wig, because people really, what I found was, people don't care what you have on your head. They don't care what you're wearing on your head. They really don't. They have their own problems. They have their own issues. They're not sitting around worried about what Lisa's got on her head. And so the more I realized that, the more comfortable I got, and then the more wigs I wanted. I realized, wow, I can have any color, any style, any cut, any length, curly, straight, doesn't matter, short, whatever. I can do whatever I want. I can have the hair that I always wanted. So I started wearing wigs, and I'm never going back because I can't. Because I have no hair on my head now. I have these little funny, if you can see them, these little white hairs. Those are not really hairs. Those are alopecia hairs. I should just go full force and shave my head, but I'm just not there yet. I kind of want to see how long these alopecia hairs will get, just out of curiosity, but you can still see my scalp. They don't cover my head. And I'm about to turn 50, and they make me look like I'm much older. So I don't have any interest in walking around like that. So anyway, so that is why I wear wigs. And also, I just want people to know about the Squaric acid treatment, because if you're a person who has a lot of allergies, I would not recommend it. My doctor said I was the only person who had reacted that bad that she'd ever seen. But how do I know if that's true? I don't know. So just a warning about Squaric acid, because I went on YouTube, and you know, YouTube is the source for everything. I could not find anything about Squaric acid on YouTube when I went and looked. I did my research, I looked online, and I just kind of thought, well, I'm not finding anything bad. And if I had seen even one person say that it might speed up your alopecia and make you lose all your hair, I would not have done it. And it was a miserable treatment. I'm not gonna lie. It was awful. My head hurt. It itched. I was constantly itching my head. It was not fun. So I personally, in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, would not recommend that you get Squaric acid treatment. To me, you just have to keep doing it, and you have to keep suffering with a miserably itchy head for it to work. And that's just not a good trade-off, you know? I mean, and I still wasn't, I don't think ever would have. It was actually, I was starting to have alopecia spots along with growth. So it was, the T cells were still coming back. So I'm just not a believer in it personally, for me. But if it works for you, great. Don't hate me because I'm saying it didn't work for me, but it didn't. So anyway, that's it. I hope this helps somebody. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.